You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
You are now tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that's on all the time, anytime. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for all content. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell. Bring your sports game with Big Nate Sports Talk.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. I hope you're all doing well. I hope April's off to a good start for you. This is episode 20 of the podcast. This episode, we are recapping the national championship. Congratulations to the University of Connecticut men's Huskies basketball team. Before we get into it, we will be recapping the women's national championship with Brendan Potts. That video will be recorded, and that will end season 14. Over the next couple weeks, we will be doing some cosmetic changes to the podcast, so you might see some tweaks and different things like that. So just be we'll be working on that. The mock draft videos are being recorded. That'll go up the Sunday it'll go up before the draft, because the draft is actually a week from today. So there were the WNBA draft and then the grades and different things like that. So be tuned in for that. But let's just get into the video. It was a very interesting game to watch. It's over. It was a practically one-sided final score. UConn 76, San Diego State 59. It's their fifth national championship in their program history. It wasn't enough. UConn was just a better team. Give Coach Hurley credit. A 5-year rebuild. They bring this program to where it was before. It's a trust everyone brought in. Same thing I kind of look at with Maryland with Kevin Willard. But what I took away from the game was a couple things. Adama Sanogo and Donovan Klingman are one of the two best rim protectors. And they protected the rim with this elite level. I really thought San Diego offensively was intimidated to get to the basket, especially the first half. They were all 5 layups in the first half, and they were 30% Well, they finished the game with 3 out of 10. They just looked bothered by the size of the length. I thought if you watched the preview, I said the key to not beating, but trying to keep competitive with UConn was you had to come out aggressive. And I think the first 7 minutes, under the first 7 minutes of the game, it showed me how I knew the game was going to look. There was, I believe that's actually said the same name, Nathan Minshew. He had a clean look. Had a hook shot. Instead, he passed it. He deferred it to, I think that was Ladie, and turned the ball over. And you were down 9 in that possession, and Jordan Hawkins stretched it to 12. Then that's when it just got out of hand. I mean, the guards for UConn. I mean, I just really think offensively, the Aztecs were just shook. I mean, every time I watched Damian Trammell bring the ball up half court, he had to look over his shoulder every time with Tristan Newton in transition. There was a wide open layup. Offensively, I couldn't buy a bucket. I mean, that has been UConn's bread and butter, is the rim protection. When you paid attention this past Saturday against Miami, they shot 31% on 2-pointers. They shot, compared to throughout the season, over 54, 55%. Gonzaga shot 40%. This was not a strong offensive team coming into the game. Everybody knew that. I mean, there was little thing. They didn't make any adjustments at all. I said it before, again, as I said, you had to come out aggressive. I really thought their bench would have been key as well, but I mean, their bench was just nowhere to be found. I mean, Michael Parrish, it was just nowhere to be found. And again, you have Ladie, you didn't get much help neither. I mean, there was a point for 10 whole minutes in the first half. The Aztecs weren't looking like a basketball team. They looked completely just, again, intimidated. They looked just real. They just had no answers. They just looked shook. And when when I watched them against Florida at FAU, they put a 14-point deficit. It's their offense is just not built to play from behind, and it showed. And they brought it down back to 5, but I really thought, other than that, what UConn did in the first half, that the Aztecs were just not good.
I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
When I watched this tournament, for the men's side, UConn has been dominating the tournament. I felt there was a couple moments in the game where you felt like San Diego State was going to trying to make a run, but when it mattered, they needed much needed baskets. It starts from Sunogo, Jordan Hawkins, and those guys. I don't want to say San Diego State kept this game close, Because, I mean, you look at the first 5 games of the tournament for UConn, they won by a margin of at least 20 more points. And yes, I mean, San Diego State did enough to keep competitive defensively, but offensively, I just no answers. I mean, I thought what Newton did, Hawkins did, all did well. I mean, Newton did have 5 turnovers in the game when they came in the first 5 minutes, but then he had 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. When you look at Sunoco, I really think his from the year that he's had. I say what you want. I think the bigs won this game for UConn. They really, really made a big. He's made a big difference. He to me was the MVP. This year coming during the tournament, he averaged almost 20 and 10. And for me, I think you need to have some type of paint presence to make a run. The UConn Husky showed that. And say what you want. Give San Diego State credit. The defense and the toughness. UConn shot over 40% from the field and 35% from 3. That's what a good team that can shoot the ball, stay consistent looks like. Jordan Hawkins is 50% as well from his shooting wise. And when you look at these teams, I actually did my research before we started recording the video. Recruiting matters. And I think also, too, when you have everybody bought in, because when you look at the portal, even though I'm not a fan of the transfer portal, a lot of guys for both teams, the transfer portal really helped them. Tristan Newton came from, who was in UConn. He was starting at East Carolina. Matt Bradley and Damon Trammell came from University of California at Berkeley and in Seattle. San Diego State had a 4-man bench. I believe two of them were transfers. UConn had a 4-man bench as well, and I think 3 of them transferred. So the transfer portal was on full display in the tournament. That's a fun fact. But also, too, I really think they really have I looked at Devon Klingman, 2 players on their bench for San Diego State, for example. I believe just coming out of high school. Donovan Klingman was the only true freshman for either team's rotation to commit to UConn out of high school. That's a fun fact. So that was pretty much my takeaways from the game. Once this second half, the fourth quarter came on, I turned it off. I knew that they were going to win. But give Dan Hurley his credit. He's built a tremendous program. It took him 5 years, but they stayed the process. And when you look at, I don't know what a guy like Andre Jackson Jr. or Adama will do. Klingman is smart. He should stay another year. I have a feeling Jordan Hawkins will declare for the draft, even though I feel like he should stay. But I would really I could see this team running it back. And they have their recruiting class for next year is top 5. So there's going to be a lot of star power there. And I think this year was definitely a year where you can build it off of. I still think, next year, if Sunoco declares for the draft, I think he's a top 5 pick. I'll even go as far as saying he'd be a top 3. But it was a great, great game for both teams. But this is all what March Madness is all about. disappointed that no number 1 seed got there. I was hoping at least 2 out of the 4 would have got at least to the Elite 8. But yeah, give Dan Hurley credit on a great year. And I think, honestly, I can't wait to see what next year brings, because I already know the transfer portal, once the season's all over, it's going to be one hell of a it's going to be really interesting to see that transfer portal. But painfully, because Angel Reese and the Louisiana State Tigers are most likely, I have a feeling, will be national champions, because that's her and Jordan Hawkins are related. So they both are now national champions. And what could have been for University of Maryland? What could have been? Let's get into the last subject of the evening.
Incoming message.
Thoughts are running through my mind, so I took some time to find a minute or two to organize.
Final message. Congratulations to the LSU women's basketball team. Brendan Potts and I did a recap on that. That episode's recorded. Congratulations to Jordan Hawkins and the UConn Huskies. There was a situation that occurred just before the game. There was a watch party at San Diego State University, where there was a reporter. Her name is Daniela Ramirez. Recorded it. I'm not going to play the video. I'm not going to say it wasn't graphic or anything, but what happened, there was a situation where the watch party, it was a lot of capacity, max capacity. And as fans, when your team is doing something that's extraordinary, that's never have happened on this magnitude. The video, actually, I'm gonna play it for you guys to see it. But I hope everybody's okay. I hope there was no serious in the video. It did not look like to me there were any serious injuries, but I would hope that. I don't think it was worth it to put other people's lives at risk to see the game. I get it. You want to be there. You want to support your team and different things like that. But I thought that was very, very scary to look at. And I even applaud her for even stepping in there and pulling people to the side safely, because you could just tell it was starting to get very wild. Because there's a gate where just before you go into the arena, and you could see people eager to get it. We're really trying to force their way in, and saw the same thing with having Connecticut, but just got to be mindful of fan safety, and we're here to support and have a good time and enjoy the games and not cause chaos like what occurred. So let me go ahead and play that clip, and then that's going to end the episode. So if I remember, I'll leave this link in the description. But what ends up happening here is this is at San Diego State. So it's a watch party, and that's max capacity. Here's where they all enter. And play the video.
Here, get on this side. Get on this side. Don't go on this side. She's gonna get toppled more. Stop running. I'm shaky.
Excuse me, I was muted. That's kind of one of the main reasons I'm not really big into going to sporting events like that, because especially as you saw in the video, where someone could have seriously gotten injured, someone could have died. Again, I'm all about for supporting your team and showing team spirit, but you can't. That's not what the basketball team would have wanted to see their fans do. I'm just very disappointed that happened. I kind of questioned why there wasn't more security. I would hope that there is something you can take away from that and understand that when we're going to events, if you're going to go, get there early. And it did say it was at max capacity. So it's like, okay, well, we can watch it on TV. We can watch it at a sports bar, something. Because in that video, that was chaotic. And it looked like from what I saw, nobody was seriously hurt. Just a lot of people were just shaken up. And according to the article that I read, several people scaled it and pushed the doors open. And they were just, and the security was overwhelmed. But, and then after that, that just was just bad. I know that, and I'm currently reading the article right now. It's at the police department. Said, and I quote, "We were appalled by the behavior of individuals who chose to access the arena gates, disregarded the direction of security officials after the venue reached capacity, and they can, I believe, according to the capacity, I think it could list over 12,000. I think it's like 12,100 something. So I saw that. I need to talk about that. But I was also too, after the men won, you know what? I've said too much. I'm leave that alone. But we as fans, I think we have to be better. When on UConn's campus, that kind of behavior, we're breaking stuff and destruction of property and different things like that, makes no sense. But that's going to end another episode of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Thank you for tuning into this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the support you've given me and this channel. Let me know your thoughts on National Championship. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Be tuned for future episodes. One more episode and we're done for our season 14. And we're going to get into season 15. And like I said, we're going to be next couple of weeks working on some cosmetic changes to the podcast. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good night. Peace. Stay up. Before I forget, it just ran my mind. Let me get into the sponsor of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast, because he'll come looking for me. No, I'm just kidding. Zagnif Apparel LCC. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to dress like you're already dress like you're famous, Well, why don't you check out my guy, Zagnif Apparel, where you can be and you will dress like your fame.
The following is a presentation of Zagnif Productions, LLC. Introducing Zagnif Apparel. Our comfortable line of leisure wear and athletic wear will have you comfortable and stylish at any occasion. Whether you're at the gym, out shopping, or just relaxing at home. Whether you're an athlete or just want to lay around the house, we've got the perfect outfit for you. Stop by our website today and pick up your favorite pieces. Zagnif Apparel. Dress like you're already famous.
And you can dress like you're famous with a nice 15% off using my code that you see on the screen here, Big Nate. Again, 50% off using Big Nate as the code. Thank you for Zagnif Apparel for being a sponsor of Big Nate Sports Talk podcast. I do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude the episode. Have a good night. Congratulations to the UConn Huskies. It's been a great NCAA tournament. We'll take a little break for a couple days because on the women's side, covered the Maryland Terrapins, and then also to covering the rest of the tournament. We'll take a couple days, and we'll be back with season 15.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you, yeah. I want to thank you. Ooh. For all the times you put up with me. Thank you. And you helped me retain my sanity. Thank you. I want to thank you. And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you for everything.